So it's May the 7th. So here we are at my hot tub that's next to my pool. It's been covered over. I have like a deck that I've built over top of it, probably for about 3 years or so, maybe more. And in the meantime, I painted my pool blue, which you can't see yet because it's only the beginning of May. The pool won't be open for a while, but I had leftover epoxy paint, so I'm going to paint this the same color while I can, and then just maybe leave it open until the pool opens, just to compare how they look together. But I typically don't fill it up. It's just another little pool to maintain that I don't really use that often. So, but anyhow, we'll see how it looks. This is after all the leaves and junk were swept out of it, and then I'm going to do some pressure washing and maybe some acid washing. It's going to take a while to have it be dry enough to paint, so probably won't paint till next week. But this is the kind of the beginning of the cleanup. So here we are. So here we are after pressure washing this, and then acid washing it, and then rinsing it with the pressure washer again, and then just some plain hose water. That's about as good as it's going to get. So we just gotta let this dry good for a few days. It's already Wednesday, so probably next week before she's totally dry. And then we'll vacuum it out when it's dry, all these little bits and junk, get that out of there. You know, this was muriatic acid that we used to get everything out of the pores of the concrete, get it all cleaned up. This is about as good as it's going to get, I think. So it'll cover good, it'll look nice, and we'll see it when it's painted. So, but it definitely needs it. So that's why I'm glad I'm doing it, because you know, this has got to look half decent, and it'll match the pool. I'll probably even fill it up this year and just to run it for a while. So we'll be back next week. And it's now, some time has elapsed since the last clip. So it's now Monday, May 12th, 2025. Up to this point, we have pressure washed, then washed it with acid, muriatic acid, and then we pressure washed again and rinsed a few good times to make sure that it was rinsed out. And then we let it dry for a few days here. That was last week when we did that. Now it's nice and dry, and now we're up to the point where we've got it taped off. Tape off all the tile, and then we've vacuumed the debris out. What was left, it was still, you know, constantly getting dirt in here because it's a very dirty environment, you know, at ground level next to my pool. In early May, it's just a crazy dirty environment around here. In the early spring, I get all this material. I just blew it all back. That's as far as I can blow with my electric blower. You know, if I have my big backpack, but look, it's blowing this way. So, you know, before I actually get in there, I've got to make sure that stuff is back. I need 3 hours to dry after I paint it, and that should be good. But I'm sure I'll get some kind of piece of dirt or a bug in there. It's just the nature of working outside, you know, working around here in the woods. You can only keep stuff so clean. If you're a super clean freak, this is not the place for you. So, all right. And this is what we're going to be using, and this is what was used also on the pool. This is National Pool Finishes Pool Guard EHB, and it's a new science of epoxy coatings. It's a two-part epoxy, high build pool paint, and this is in number 6504 Royal Blue. So we have a gallon of that. That's a brand new gallon, and then we have the necessary activator to mix with this, and it's a 1-to-1 mix. So this could conceivably mix a 2-gallon batch, but I don't think I'll need quite that much. So just for future reference too, if I ever sell my house and someone wants to know what the pool is painted with, this is what's on there, because you can only paint over certain pool coatings with, you know, other certain pool coatings. So this lets you know what it is. These coatings don't last forever, they say. Maybe you get 3, 4, 5 years. I'd be happy with that, but it'll look nice. You can see the hot tub's real grungy. The pool looked like that, and it really looks nice when it's done. This is what we're using. I'm letting it warm up in the sun a bit, and then when we're ready to go, we're gonna mix it up. Okay, well, here we are. It's finally go time. I did all the cleaning I can do. When I mix the paint, that has to sit for a good 5 minutes or so. While I'm doing that, I'm going to vacuum one last time, see if there's any other dirt I can get up to get her cleaned. And then I'm going to be rolling it on one of these smaller rollers. And a little tip on those, rather than buy the small roller covers, I just cut the big ones in half. They're a lot cheaper. You'll pay more for the small one than you will for the full-size one. And hey, why not? And so since this gets mixed in an equal ratio of 1-to-1, I'm going to mix in this 2.5 quart cup here. Probably measure about 2 quarts thereabouts. But to get the mix right, in Walmart I got these ladles, 97 cents, so I can dip in there and I can count, you know, and use separate ones for the hardener and for the paint, and then I can measure any quantity down to 2 ladles, you know. I've done that for other paints and it works for any ratio, but if it's 3-to-1, then, you know, there you go, or, you know, 1-to-1, whatever it is. You just count the ladles, and then there you'll be able to recreate that mix. So we're going to go. I'm not going to film while mixing paint or painting. I don't want to deal with the camera and have that get paint on it or whatever. I need kind of to focus on you know, my procedure here and how I'm going to efficiently go around the space provided. I have some plans to see how it's gonna go. So we'll come back and we'll take a look when it's been painted. So wish me luck. See you later. Well, here we are. There's that paint on there. Still wet. I think I got a couple of bugs in there. I picked one out, and you know, hopefully nothing else gets in the next 3 hours or so before the stuff starts setting up. I may have to touch up a few spots I see in some of the tape. It's hard to tell. Got a few runs across the tile, but once we got so far away from it, there was no getting back in there to get to it. So it'll come out good though, I think. And then we'll wait a couple days to pull the tape and we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, just needed it really bad. You know, it's been needing it for a few years, needing a nice paint job, and now it would match the pool. And you know, all this is underwater, especially when the bubbles start going, you're not going to see nothing. And if you're looking at the paint job under the water when you're in there with somebody in the hot tub, then you're in there with the wrong person, because what are you looking at a paint job for if you're in the hot tub with somebody? Anyhow, so we'll see what it looks like after we pull the tape, and then we'll see. We got to wait 5 days to fill it up at least, so we'll wait a bit. We don't get the pool open till about Memorial Day, so it'll probably be around then. So we'll give it, definitely more than 5 days before we need to fill it up. But there it is. I think it came out good enough. Got it kind of thick. I'd rather have it thick than bare spots. Seal it up good. So that's where we're at this point. So we'll see you back in a couple days when we pull the tape. Well, it's been a couple of days since the hot tub was painted, and so let's go take a look. It's torrential rain outside, so it's really not supposed to get wet, but I think just underwater for 5 days. I wiped it out with a towel because we did get some moisture in there. But you can see that it's covered, which is a nice element of this hot tub. Hear that rain? It is torrential rain out in western New Jersey. But here it is. I just pulled the tape, and now we have no tape. And all the lines came out pretty well. So we're getting some moisture down in here from this rain. But it all came out pretty good. A couple of runs, but with the blue part of the tile, you barely notice it. It's going to be underwater. The water level is pretty much up to here, up to the tile when it's full, so it holds a lot of water. You can comfortably get, 7-8 people in here. It is a nice hot tub. The waterfall trickles down, and all the controls for it are inside. And we're going to fill it up, turn it on, take a look, and enjoy it. It's been a while. It's been closed down probably for 3 years or so, so we'll give it a go. But that's the update. A few days later on the tub. But yeah, the rain. So here we are. It's all been freshly epoxy painted, filled with water, and ready to enjoy. The color's a bit darker than the pool, but the pool's been exposed out to the sun for a few years now, that color. That's the same paint, and that's hope this won't really get much sun, so I don't think it'll really fade much. And then when the blowers start blowing, then it'll be nice. And we're not heating it yet, but when we have the heater on, then it'll be nice, enjoyable to relax in the warm weather or the cooler weather. Then we add this the soothing bubbles for a nice, relaxing bubble bath. The nice jets, and everybody can enjoy themselves. And we add the tropical waterfall, and our story is complete. I hope you enjoyed the saga of the hot tub. It's been a long time coming. We started this probably a month ago. It's now almost the end of June, so a lot of time. There will be a follow-up to the hot tub video, because all is not rosy in hot tub land. So we'll let you know what that's all about when the time comes. Thanks for watching, and hope we see you again soon.